Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I'm your host, Pretorius. This is part 9 of the anarchy debate between Owen Benjamin and HighimpactFlix. And right before this, I had to cut the last video just a few minutes short because right before this video starts, right here, one of the last things that Owen Benjamin says is he says that a 9-year-old, a child, being coerced into inappropriate relations with a grown person is just a business deal.
It's forcing your will on somebody who doesn't have the capacity.
The child consents, Brian. The child consents. The child says, "I want to do it." And I've said this 5 times. And if you pretend I don't say it again, I'll just start yelling at you because you're acting like a criminal.
Well, there's not going to be anything
Brian,
different.
Listen.
I really shouldn't listen to you, and I should be interrupting you as much as you interrupt me.
Brian, a 9-year-old says, "I want to sell my body to get money for mommy." A 50-year-old man gives money for that 9-year-old's ass. What do you do to that guy? That's consent.
He's already answered the question. He said eliminate that person. He's already answered this, and for some reason Owen will not accept that because Owen said put him in jail, and Brian said no, eliminate him. 43 cents or whatever, 17 cents for Swift. Eliminate him. And so I have no idea why Owen is hard pressed in saying the things that he's saying right now.
No aggression whatsoever in what I just described. None. A 9-year-old says
raping a child is not aggression.
Not rape, Brian. It's not the child.
Yeah, it is aggression. It is aggression. It is aggression.
What is going on? Honestly, what is going on?
Okay, 13-year-old.
A 13-year-old's not an adult. An adult can sell their body if they want to. An adult can prostitute themselves.
What fucking?
Okay, so this is one of, I think what's going on right now is Owen is trying to justify his own personal struggles, his own personal demons, his own personal lusts and wants, desires that he knows are fallible, that he knows are disgusting, that he knows. That's the only thing that makes sense with this. And it's based on personal opinions that Owen has shared with his audience whenever he was doing videos upon videos of the Sound of Freedom. And he said that there was no difference between a 14-year-old girl and a grown woman. We are actually being able to look into the mechanics and the depravity of Owen, in my opinion.
I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah.
I don't know what
there isn't one, dummy.
I know
There's no age.
I know a 13-year-old isn't an adult.
You're talking about killing a man, and you haven't even thought about the age of consent or how to enforce it.
Oh, what's the age of consent? What's the age of consent?
Why is he so angry? I thought that was pretty much a universal thing to eliminate the PDF computer files who do that. I thought that was that was pretty universal. And now he is extraordinarily angry that a man he knows is smarter than him has said, we'll just eliminate him. This is troubling and bizarre behavior displayed by Owen Benjamin. I cannot fathom that there are people out there that support him after this.
Super chat. No, this conversation.
No, tell me what the age of consent is. I'm listening.
Do you believe in government or not? Do you believe in government or not, Brian?
Do I believe in the right to rule another man against his will? No, I don't. That's what government is.
13-year-olds sell their ass consensually.
Do you believe in government?
Of course I do, Brian.
There you go.
Move on to super chat. Stop humiliating yourself.
Okay. In anarchy, when does someone lose their freedom? Like if they have Alzheimer's? What? Did you say something?
You sell your ass?
What?
For 7, 18? What's the age?
You tell me what the age of consent is. Go ahead.
This is disgusting. This is disgusting. There's been times in my life where I was having a conversation with somebody, and they, because of this, I just completely walked away.
At 18, no, you're the one who believes in no force. At 18, can someone sell their ass, or is it 16?
Are you implying that you do believe in unjust force? What are you saying?
Of course, I believe in force. I believe in force. I really believe in force, Brian.
Yeah, I do too. But isn't there a difference between just force and unjust?
He believes in force so much. Owen Benjamin believes in force so much. Owen Benjamin, Karis Troy Smith, believes in force so much that he thinks that whenever a small child is essayed, that there's no aggression in that. If the child gave consent, as though a child could give consent. That's how much the dangerous, predatorial cult leader, Owen Benjamin, believes. This is insane.
Unjust force?
Who gets to decide that, Brian?
Well, let me give you an example, and you tell me if it's unjust force, because you're the one that says the government's not effing with you.
No.
So let me wait. I was still talking. If a guy is traveling from Texas to California and he happens to get pulled over by Nevada Highway Patrol with $87,000 of his own money in his own car so that he could provide for his family in California, is it just force for a Nevada Highway Patrol agent to, under civil asset forfeiture, steal all of that man's life savings? Is that just? Because you said government isn't effing with him. That's Stephen Lara. That actually happened, and it happens every single day to the tune of $6.2 billion every year on the American tax cattle. That's what I'm against.
Yeah, I'm into it. I think that guy should have been taken.
You think more should have been? Are you being sarcastic?
I'm not taking you seriously because you won't answer the question about child sex trafficking.
I'm not taking you seriously because you're obviously smarter than me. Obviously, you know more than me. And so therefore, I have no other option besides to burn myself upon this hill pretending to care about child ST.
You don't answer any of my questions, so touche.
So if somebody is,
I am so concerned.
Jesus Christ, man!
Jesus Christ, you're interrupting me! Stop interrupting me while I'm interrupting! Doggone it!
You're being disingenuous, and your ideology is extremely evil.
Wait. Let's get it straight.
The pot calling the kettle black on that one there, buddy. Oh, my.
Ideology that says, I think that society should operate under voluntarism where you don't force somebody against their will to do
something. It doesn't exist,
It
Brian.
doesn't? So you force your neighbors to do things they don't want to do? It doesn't exist?
Oh, man,
You're lying to yourself.
Man. A 10-year-old wants to sell their ass, and how do you stop it? At what age? And you can't answer the question because it requires force when there is no force.
There's a scripture that says, answer a fool according to his folly, and you will be like him.
Next super chat. Next super chat.
I'm not going to do any more of these dollars. I'm going to do the ones that I'm going to do. Debussy says, Owen learned his debating skills from Alex Jones. Victoria says, Owen is an insult to civil discourse. He's only exposing his own perversions. I completely agree with that. Debussy says, Brian inspired at least 2 of my videos and talking points for public meetings and the confidence to stand up and say it out loud. Let's see. I'm not going to read.
They stood up and said something out loud. Then I bet they sat back down, though, right? If the 10-year-old volunteers for the sex with the older man, how do you stop that? And be specific. Like,
you get rid of, number one, how you stop a massive amount of it is you get rid of the idea that people have the right to rule other people. That's what you do.
Right,
and once you do that, you can eliminate a whole lot of. You asked me a question and I'm trying to respond to it.
Ryan, you're not answering. You're going, oh, if you get rid of statism, a poor 10-year-old, this happens in war-torn areas without governments all the time.
There are no war-torn areas. Oh, wait, so you're saying that there are places without government?
What causes war? You're an idiot, man.
Yeah, I know what causes war. You know what primarily causes war? Fiat currency and central banking causes war, because without it, nations couldn't afford to go to war. The only reason nations can afford to go to war is because they have a fiat currency Ponzi scheme that they're depending on.
Brian, a 10-year-old wants to sell their body. Tell me how in your anarchy would you stop that? A 10-year-old wants to sell their body for sex. Step
one, get rid of the idea, the deluded idea that a man can rule over another.
It's happening right in front of you. What do you do?
You will not let me answer the question. This is crazy.
Get rid of the idea that a man has a right to know. A 10-year-old.
Get rid of the delusion that a man has the right to rule over another man or a child, because when you get rid of that,
you wouldn't stop that. You wouldn't stop it.
A man doing that.
Owen has asked this question multiple times. Brian has already answered. He said, eliminate that person. The answer has already been given, and Owen will not let it stand. It's just a continuous loop of perversion and disgusting, insane ramblings.
To another kid is exemplifying that he is doing exactly what government does to its own people.
No. The child consents verbally and says, "I want to do it for my mom." How do you stop that in your ideology, in your twisted ideology? Be specific.
Step one, how I stop it. Step one is I get rid of the idea of statism or government. That's step number one.
A 9-year-old in front of you. A 50-year-old is buying them. The 9-year-old says, I want to do this. My mommy's poor. What do? You get rid of the idea of the state? Are you fucking retarded? Answer the question.
The only reason the only reason is because
of the state. There was no rape before the state. How do you stop it, Brian?
There wasn't as much rape as before the state. There wasn't as much murder. There wasn't as much theft.
In this unique example, Brian,
Dude, you're not even letting me finish. I'm just going to go ahead and read the Milker Nation. Milker. No. I've already tried 10 times, dude. This is ridiculous.
No, you can't, because you just keep saying, well, the fiat currency is what justifies the state. A 10-year-old.
You keep on interrupting me. You keep on interrupting every time I answer your question.
I won't interrupt, I promise. Answer the question. But what would you do in that situation right in front of those people? What do you do?
If a person attempted to purchase a child who you say consented, I don't call that consent. I call it manipulation. The child's mind is manipulated. But because you're deluded, you think a child can consent to giving their body away. I don't believe that. That's your belief. That's not my belief. But if I saw a 50-year-old man or a 30-year-old man or some man trying to buy a 9-year-old person who's supposed to...
Notice Owen did not deny that.
Consented, that person deserves the judgment, the stiffest judgment and penalty any just society would give to them. And that would be the elimination from this earth. Because a child saying that they can do this for mommy because she's suffering is manipulation. It is brainwashing. Just like you've been, dude, I'm still talking. Just like you've been brainwashed to believe that government needs to regulate us more. If we can have more laws and more governments, we could have a safer and more prosperous society. It is lunacy.
You just consented to capital punishment.
You just asked me what I would do, and I'm telling you what I would do. The guy is not fit to live.
You have no problem with the government. None. You just want to be the government.
No. Wait a second. Enacting justice is not what the government is involved in. The government is involved in believing they have a right to rob you and rule you. If somebody commits a crime, if somebody is harming you, I will come to your aid, not because I believe that I have a right to rob and rule them, but because I believe that I have the right to stop a crime when I see it being enacted on another fellow human being. You demonstrate time time and time again that you have a fundamental misunderstanding of what government is, what anarchy is, and what, by extension, what right and wrong is. That makes you a dangerous person. You are one of the most, you are the dangerous person that wants me to be regulated. You want your fellow bears in Beartaria to be regulated by government. That is your message. You want them regulated.
Do you stop at 13? Do you stop the exchange of sex?
I've already answered your question.
No, you haven't. You said it 9.
Milker Nation on YouTube has the receipts on Owen is the next super chat.
Ryan, at 13, are they coerced or are they sentient at that point?
I've already answered your question.
No, you haven't. Answer the question. Would you kill the man?
The reason you're trying to nitpick and make these arguments, how about 14? How about 17? How about 9 is because you don't have an argument. You have to know you're standing by immorality. You have no understanding of what you're talking about. You're being dishonest with terms, and you're trying to use your own life experiences to put that on everybody else.
Do you stop the exchange, Brian? Yes or no? At 13, do you stop the exchange?
What do you care?
Yes or no?
You don't care what I say.
So you won't answer yes or no. At 13, do you stop the exchange? The consensual exchange?
I've already answered your question.
No, you haven't. Just say yes or no.
So where does it stop? How about at 13 and a half? How about 14? How about at 15.5?
That's exactly my point, Brian. That's exactly my point.
My point is you applaud the violence of the state and you want more of it. You want more violence to befall
Brian,
people.
At 13, do you stop the exchange?
Regulation equals violence.
I honestly think that Owen is actually trying to get permission from this guy. I mean, that's a very good possibility in my mind, that he is actively trying to get permission. Because he's already said that there's no difference between a 14-year-old and a grown woman.
Because
Brian,
every law is...
Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you stop the exchange at 13? Just say yes or no.
I already told you, man. I already told you.
No, you didn't. Say yes or say no. So the answer is no, you don't stop.
I already told you because I said a 13-year-old is not an adult. So when you're talking about kids, you're talking about people who are manipulated by adults so they can have their way with them. Whether the mother is manipulating their kid, whether the 50-year-old who wants to have sex with them is manipulating their kid, it's manipulation. It's not consent. Manipulation is not consent.
Manipulation to buy sex from somebody.
I already told you the answer to that question too.
Is that 18? Is it 18?
Leroy Truth says, I support you, Brian. You're a man of the highest integrity that I've found.
Or is it 16? Is it 16 or 18? When can you sell your body for sex?
Owen, you are an utter fool, and I'm sorry to say that.
16?
You have demonstrated. You have demonstrated that you applaud the.
Brian, do you stop the sex exchange at 16?
Ma Barker says, R.I.P. Davey. F you, Owen. Thank you for being patient, Brian. Owen, you're rude as F. Chat is lit. Thank you, chat. Quit giving
Brian,
Owen your money bears. You don't need him. Can't wait for 2 years of trashing Brian now.
No, I don't care. I won't even talk about it. I think this is just retarded.
Man,
at 16, do you stop the exchange? Are they an adult?
Booncat says
how mind-blowingly important this is.
You don't understand how mind-blowingly foolish you are.
You undercutted the anarchy argument because you stop.
I undercutted the anarchy argument of voluntarism and mutual consensual interaction between relationships. How did I do that?
Because you'd execute a man for engaging in a contract with a 9-year-old.
Engaging in a okay, you're going to call a child that says everything. Maybe you are a sexual. Are you a sexual deviant? You constantly talk about sex. You constantly talk about anal sex. You constantly talk about child sex trafficking. And now you're saying that a 9-year-old can legitimately make a contract with a pervert and it be that's.
We are watching the storm of accountability rain down upon Owen Benjamin.
Amazing, man.
My position is there's no age, Brian. What's your age? You're going to call me a pervert because I don't think
an adult can do whatever they want when you're talking about a child who can be manipulated.
My position is there's no age, Brian. What's your age?
So did Owen just, I can't hear, and because of the audio, did Owen just say that he says that there is no age? Is that what was just said?
call me a pervert because I don't think
An
you can
adult
ever consent.
can do whatever they want. When you're talking about a child who can be manipulated, that is not consent. That is manipulation. I don't even know how much more clear I can make it.
What about an 18-year-old that's marketing is manipulation, Brian? All marketing is manipulation. At what age can you sell your asshole for money when you're poor, Brian?
Wait a second.
18?
Wait a second. We are talking about a governmental manipulation where you're getting into the mind of somebody and you're saying that another person has a right to harm another person against their will. And you're equating this is your will and this is consent if it's a 9-year-old. I don't believe that.
Would you shoot the pedophile yourself if they were 9? Would you put one in his head?
I'm not going to answer that question. That's a dangerous question to answer.
Yes. You did. So the answer is yes.
I already told you that what justice demands of a guy who's going to rape a kid, no matter what the reason is.
What age are you no longer a kid? Why can't he answer the question?
Are you against child sex trafficking?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm against all sex trafficking.
Would you be against the largest child sex trafficker in the world?
Ryan, at what age?
Because the largest child sex trafficker in the world comes out of Washington's District of Criminals, and it's called the U.S. government. And I am against the idea that underpins the United States government. Booncat says, Owen, why do you pick your nose so much? What's in the big old quarter Jewish nose? Government drugs, are they good?
Ad hominem. At what age?
You want a sick one? That's not mine. I have not used an ad hominem against you.
I'm a Jew. I'm a pedophile.
This is the Texas Go Radio Show, and I'm your host, Pretorius. As always, till next time.